And welcome back to 10 out of 10 Mids Watch Game with Lon and Ross.
Hello.
In honour of the release of Final Destination Bloodlines, we thought, why not take a trip down memory lane and do an overview of the entire Final Destination franchise? I mean, us and every other movie podcast right now, but ours is going to be the best one, right?
Oh, of course.
So we're going to go over every movie, talk about the barely there plot, talk about the memorable deaths, and why everybody loves and hates this franchise. We have watched every single one of these movies in 2 weeks, and I swear I've never been more paranoid in my life. Like, everywhere I look, I'm like, that could kill me. Like, now would be a good job for a career change into like a health and safety officer or something like that.
Oh, God, aye.
So, what we're going to do is basically in the run of all of our overviews, we're going to go through all of the movies, not super in depth about the plot or anything. We're just going to do what movie, what was the best death, what was the worst death, and just a couple of thoughts and opinions about every film. And we are going to talk about Bloodlines at the very end, but we're keeping it super spoiler free for anybody who's not seen it.
Yeah, just a generic how we feel about the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll have our latest installment of 0 out of 10 at the very end. So Ross, Bulgin, big man, editor, professional. Why do you love the Final Destination franchise? And also, why do you think it's been so long-standing?
I mean, I like them because they're just kind of like turn your brain off and watch like shit unfold movies. Like, there's enough plot and like exciting bits in each film to keep you interested in them. And I think that is also why it stood the test of time.
Yes, totally.
I mean, that's been, 25 years of these movies?
That's insane.
Yeah, none of them are, like, specifically long films. I think the longest one's, the latest one at an hour 40?
Yeah, every other one's been, like, an hour 25, an hour 30,
yes.
Which is ideal, people, ideal.
Yeah, so they just kind of keep them short and sweet, like, get in, get out, and just enjoy it, like, as it's on.
Totally. I think as well, like, the whole Final Destination franchise is, like, built on tension, and they do it so well. Like, I think that's another thing why I love and why a lot of people love Final Destination is, like, the really slow build-ups to the death scenes.
Oh, aye.
Like, every death scene could be about 10, 15 minutes long, and it's because there's about 5 or 10 different ways they could die. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could see, like, an aircon unit vibrating above and somebody's playing the drums or like stuff, and you can see all these different ways of how everything's going to go horribly wrong, and then when it does go horribly wrong, it's always the way you've not thought about.
Oh yeah, like everybody has it in the house, that like thing that's broken or ready to go in the blink.
Aye.
So you kind of like, what would happen? Like, these are the best movies of like, see all like your worst fears, be like,
yes.
Right, if I was to do this and that hit that and that hit that, is it? Everybody has these thoughts every day.
100%.
So this is just kind of, these are the movies that show you that, no, this is what will happen.
100%. I do think as well the franchise has been so successful because, see, like you were saying earlier on, like, it is a pure fun concept, like, that you can just switch your brain off and just watch all the mad ways that, like, death can kill you. Do you know what I mean?
100%, aye.
And, like, the characterization of death being a gust of wind is just like what a main character that isn't really in the films, if you know what I mean. Like,
aye. He's like the best serial killer in horror movies.
Yeah.
But you never see him.
100%. I think the way you watch Final Destination, like, to see how creative all the deaths are.
Oh yeah.
It's like the same reason you watch Saw is to see how creative the Saw traps get. Do you know what I mean? Like, none of the movies are particularly good or excellent or whatever, but you're going to see the creative ways that someone can die. Do you know what I mean?
Like, as you say, we saw it's basically just what they're going to do next.
Aye, 100%. And I don't know what that says about us as the viewer, do you know what I mean? But he's a good laugh.
Aye, that's it. I mean, not every, like, you see a lot of horror on that now that has to have like a meaning behind it, or there's a story behind it. But as you say, just go in, brain off, and watch people die in like gruesome or like funny ways.
Totally. So I'll just give like a general overview of the franchise. Although if you're listening to this episode, you're obviously going to be very familiar with everything I'm about to say.
Oh, you should be anyway with Final Destination. It's been everywhere for years.
Totally. And every movie does the same thing, but like there'll be like little add-ons. So basically, in every single movie, someone will have a vision in like the style of That's So Raven of some catastrophic event that kills everyone. They'll like freak out and they manage to save a couple of people, and then they figure out that the people they've saved are now going to die in the order of whatever. Like, so like the first one it's a plane, second one it's a car crash, third one it's a roller coaster, that kind of vibe. And basically they have to try and cheat death, but every movie kind of adds on to the lore of that. So like if you die and are brought back, you've cut the whole thing, like you've saved everybody basically. If you kill someone else, you take the time that they had allotted to them, kind of thing. And it does get a bit convoluted, but basically we're just here to watch death kill you in the order that you were supposed to be sitting in whatever event you were in.
Yeah, it's the way you should have died.
Aye.
Yeah.
Also, death loves a theme tune. So like every movie has a different song that announces that death's coming.
Yeah.
So like as we go over every movie, I'll say what the prophecy was and also what the death songs were as well. So keep that in mind, gentle viewer.
Let's do it.
So Final Destination 1, the one with the plane. This one, the one that kicks off the entire franchise. Alex and his school friends are supposed to go to Paris on a school trip, but Alex sees a vision of the plane blowing up and freaks out. He manages to save, and I say save, he just gets into a kerfuffle with like loads of people. So like teachers, the guy who's trying to scrap him, they all get ripped off the plane. Funnily enough, 30 seconds later, the plane blows up and they have to keep going along the Final Destination route. And also the death song of this one is Rocky Mountain High by John Denver. Like...
John Denver's good choice as any.
Who knew?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure John Denver died in a plane crash as well.
Right, give me a second. I'm going to Google this because you have a habit of talking utter shite with your chest and then I believe everything you've said.
Nah, I'm sure he did.
Here, you're fucking right, by the way. John Denver died in a plane crash on October 12th, 1997. Yeah, Final Destination got layers, my guy.
Aye, I mean, it's kind of on the nose, isn't it?
It'd be like having Leonard Skinner. Like that bit in Con Air. Anyway, so I think this movie is the most serious out of the six. And when I say serious, I'm saying it in italics. Do you know what I mean? I think what I mean is like there's more about like the police investigations. Like they immediately do not believe that Alex has had a prophecy. They think something's been set up. So there's more of like a police chase as well, I'm going to say in italics. But obviously because Alex shows up at every death, they're like, this kid's fucking onto something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with this one, they didn't really want to make the deaths a spectacle.
No. I mean, they were a spectacle, but I know exactly what you mean. Like, as the movies go on, they get more and more mental.
Like, the deaths weren't at the forefront of this film. That was just kind of a way to move the plot along, whatever plot there is.
Totally.
So, with this one, they didn't quite know what they had yet, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think it's more, again, the way I said serious in italics, I'm going to say emotional in italics. Like, there's more emotion behind this one. Like, you watch Alex crying at the news of the, like, plane crash, and then you watch him get shunned at the funeral because everyone's really freaked out by him because they're like, how the fuck did you know? People also think he might have set up murdering everybody else. The police are, like, constantly onto him. Like, there is an attempt at heart in this movie, which absolutely gets lost as the franchise goes on. That's not a bad thing, like, but I think they sacrificed a bit of heart and a bit of emotion to have more spectacular deaths. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they really did just try and tap into, oh, look how gruesome this can be.
Yeah.
And look how much more crazy we can make it.
Yeah, whereas this one was more based in realism, and I say that as lightly as possible. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of the deaths, although some of them are crazy, is stuff you could realistically see happening.
Like getting run over by a bus, getting like a bit of stray metal through the head. The teacher, it's like the teachers, it's like a gas leak and all that as well, like the kettle and stuff.
Hers is the most far-fetched, I think, because
100%.
that is the first one that sets off, all right, like something does this, so this hits that, then that hits that.
Yes.
Like, the builds up, like, but then that's what they all kind of end up being.
No,
like,
totally.
People are more interested in the more crazier ones, if you will.
Yeah. Like, even like when his pal dies at the start, like, that's like the water starts leaking from the toilet, which then the water fucking follows him, and then there's scissors, and then there's the washing line and all that. But this one, this is one which, to be honest, I'm glad they changed that as the franchise went along, where death is that like invisible blur on the mirror, like where you see in like End of Days when like Satan, kind of vibe. It's like an invisible form, but you can see it, and then you see like the water retracting into the toilet and stuff. It was very that.
Yeah, it was a bit silly. Like that is one of the things they do improve on, as you know it's death that's doing it, but he remains unseen for the rest of the franchise.
Aye, it becomes a gust of wind in later movies rather than like the invisible thing.
Yeah, because with this one, they seem more like accidents.
Yes.
Like, whereas in later ones, it's just like so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Obviously, when they made the first one, I don't think they thought this was going to go on for 6 movies. But this basically sets up the prototype of every Final Destination movie. You've got the one who has the vision. You've got the arsehole pal who never believes like what's going on. You've got the pal who kind of believes and is trying to help them, but is still kind of skeptical. There's always like the hot duo that die in horrendous ways.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe. Like, obviously, every 2000s horror movie had the stereotypes of the characters, but Final Destination has stereotypes on stereotypes, if you get me.
Yeah. They lean into it a lot. Like, everyone is just, it's the same group. Like, you can tell for every movie which is like who's going to be who.
Exactly. And I also think that can be viewed as a good or bad thing, but I personally is like, right, that's another couple of brain cells I don't need to use. Like, nobody's watching the Final Destination movies to think something deep, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it made sense in the early 2000s, but I say this has been going on for 25 years now.
Yeah.
Like, you need to change it at some point.
I think the newest one is a fun twist on the idea, but again, I'm not wanting to spoil anything. But
yeah, and that's kind of the first of the movies to do it.
Yes.
Which I think we're 6 movies in at this stage, and they've decided now, let's change it up.
Aye, well, mind the 5th one was supposed to be the actual final destination. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking shocker.
We've got our Lord and Saviour Tony Todd. Pour one out. Rest in peace, Tony Todd, my guy. He plays the mortician, who is like kind of the ferryman, like to Hades kind of vibe, like, and he's the one that tells them. He's the one in every movie that tells them Death's plan and how to kind of fuck about with death. But like the most intense mortician ever. Like, whenever they speak to him, he's like, "Don't fuck with death. Death's got a design," and all this, and you're like, "Okay, Tony, no bother." His name's like Bloodsworth as well. Sorry. Like, it's so on the nose.
Something Bloodsworth, I can't remember it now.
Aye.
But Tony Todd in these movies, Tony Todd, fucking legend.
100%.
Like, Candyman alone, right, cements your status as legend.
100%.
See, for a guy that knows all this stuff, he does fuck all to help.
Yeah. He just tells them what's happening, and then he'll be like, "Bye," and like goes away.
But what I don't understand is so in the first movie, he says to him, "Oh, Death had a plan, yada yada." Is it the third one? No, is he in the second one?
Yeah, he's in the second one.
That's the problem with it. They all kind of merge into one.
Yeah.
So the second one, he tells them something different. Then
he's not even in the third one.
Yeah, he's a voice on the roller coaster.
Yeah, the voice of the devil.
But every time he appears in it, it's something different. Is it? You're like the most unhelpful person ever.
Like in the first one, he gives them the big long monologue about like Death's plan. And basically, this monologue is going to batter the viewer over the head for the next 6 movies.
Oh, for the next 25 years, 100%. Aye.
We get it. the first movie in mind because we're obviously going to revisit it and like come back to it on every one that we talk about. But then now we'll do best death, worst death. What have you got for best death?
Mine's is John William Scott's at the train.
Oh,
the
really?
beheading, decapitation, aye.
I suppose that's that one because the arsehole pal, he's the one that's like, I'm going to live forever. And you're like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Sean William Scott's kill, like death in it, sorry, is kind of the first of its kind, which they use in every other one. Whereas, like, somebody will survive their turn, they die. Then is it, oh, got away with that. Then the next like, whoever's turn it is next just gets killed instantly. Which is the first couple times that it does come as quite as a shock and a surprise to you.
Yeah.
It gets played out like everything in these movies, like, later on. But that for the first time seeing it, like, no, that's pretty cool. Like, Death just did not have time to fuck about that day.
Yeah. I feel like that about the bus slam one, and that's why she's my worst death.
Alright.
Sorry, I know I've like skipped right over, but like the first couple of times you watch the first Final Destination, when they're all talking about Death's plan and she steps out and gets hit by the bus, you're like, holy shit. But by the 40th, 50th time you've seen this movie, you're like, right, cool, no bother. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what's your best one?
My best one is Todd. He's pal Todd that gets hung in the shower.
Oh, the very first kill?
Very first one, because it's so... See the way everything like leads in? So it's like the water, then he slips, then the conditioner falls, the clothing line strangles him, and like even the bit where like his eyes go bloodshot, it's so fucking cool. That's one thing that I will give every single Final Destination movie. The practical effects are insane. And like I've been watching loads of the like behind the scenes ones for the new one, and it is just crazy how they pull all this stuff off. Like, oh, so good. But yeah, the first death for me is the best one, just because again, like you said earlier on, like this movie is more, all the deaths are based to look like accidents. Do you know what I mean? So you understand why nobody's taking Alex seriously.
Oh, aye. Like, it is just more the police chasing him, thinking he's doing all this.
100%.
After the first couple, you've got to think, right, hold on a minute here.
Aye, and what's your worst death? Because I jumped ahead of you and said the bus slam.
Mine's is a teacher one.
Oh, yeah, because it goes on forever. Yeah.
Like, they do get better at, like, the suspense deaths and all, like, the little bits happening to make, like, the death memorable. But for the first time, I don't think it worked.
No, I get you. I totally get you. It's like it goes on for just, like, 3 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Like, there's too many possibilities of how she dies, and they all seem to happen at the same time.
Yeah, it just doesn't hit for me.
So we'll jump on to Final Destination 2, Electric Boogaloo. This is the one with the log truck. So basically, your gal and her pals are on a road trip to fuck knows where, I don't even think they tell you. And basically she has a vision of a massive pile-up on the motorway and mayhem ensues. The death song of this movie is Highway to Hell by AC/DC. And I'm going to start off talking about the second one by saying I think this is the most impactful one for being not the best one. Like, I think people think Final Destination 2 is better than what it is purely because the pile-up scene is so good and so impactful. Like, I don't know anyone our age who drives who isn't terrified of a log truck. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, this one's had the most effect on people, I believe, anyway.
Yes.
But this movie's not. It's not there, man.
No, it's on the bottom of the list for me, to be honest. This movie does a really good job of connecting back to the first one. So, like, there's all these news articles about it being exactly a year after Flight 180. Flight 180 is obviously the flight that the kids were supposed to go into Paris. And that's another thing you need to keep an eye out for in every Final Destination movie is 180 is going to be somewhere. It's going to be like the name of a restaurant or like somebody's license plate number, that kind of thing. And this movie brings it all back to the first one, where after Wargal has a vision of the pile-up, they all start being like, oh my God, I heard about this case last year, Flight 180. The survivors all died in really weird accidents. Like, and again, it starts off with the whole, oh, fuck off, she's talking shite, or oh no, I totally believe her. And then they bring in Clear, who is Alex's girlfriend.
That's a stupid name, by the way.
Our name is Clear River. Fuck all the way off, right? And they bring her back. Basically, she's voluntarily locked herself into a mental asylum so that she can try and escape death. Because as much as her and Alex survived the first movie, he was hit by like a brick in the head. You find out through like a news article or something like that. It's such a like non-plus thing.
That's one of the problems of these movies, is that even when they so-called escape death, how can you?
Yeah.
I think all the people who have written these and directed, made these, whatever, have struggled with that. And is it right? That's good. You done your movie, but you can't survive.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you can like cheat death. Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. Spoiler for every Final Destination movie, Ross.
Hardly a spoiler. I mean, if you know anybody that can cheat death and live forever, then I want to meet them.
No, like, you're absolutely right. And like, the way that it was like Alex gets hit in the head with a brick, I was like, a fucking brick, after he survived like train crashes and watched all his pals, and then getting the Stein falling on them and all that. Like, no, fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they kind of done him dirty. It'd have been cool to see him in maybe the sequel in some capacity. Maybe that was the plan and he didn't want to do it. I don't know.
He was too busy filming the Stan music video for Eminem.
Did that come out after it, aye?
I have no clue. But I'm just going to say he was.
So do you think that got him the role? Or do you think it was the Stan thing that got him the Final Destination role?
Ooh, the Eminem full circle.
Final Destination, Eminem.
That'll be the 9th one.
Aye, but
there's not much fucking about with this one though. Like, everyone's pretty much on board after the first accidental death. So like, the first guy to die is like, he won the lottery at like 21, and again, it's like he puts plastic in the microwave, he puts fat on the fryer, he gets his brand new gold watch caught in the like waste disposal.
Yeah.
And then it's like his house gets set on fire and he tries to get out through the escape thing, falls, and the ladder goes through his face. But basically, after he dies, everyone's like, no, cool, no danger. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least the first one, there was a bit more police investigation, a lot of standoffishness. Whereas in this one, the police really aren't having anything to do with it, apart from the police that's helping them. And they're all pretty much like, yep, whatever you say, cool, no danger.
Yeah, this is the first of, like, everything in this movie just gets carried on, all the tropes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from here on, I think they just decided, right, this is how we're going to push these movies now.
Yep.
But, I mean, as I've said, I don't like this, like, the second one, although a lot of people think it is, like, the best one.
Mm-hmm.
But the group in this one is, none of them are likeable.
See, that's how I feel about Final Destination 4. I've actually got this in a note for later on during the episode where, like, as the movies go on, the groups just get less and less likeable, and you just don't care if they survive or not. Do you know what I mean?
Like, I feel it, like, as bad as it is, I feel it starts with this one.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that.
Like,
I'll give you that.
You have all the stuff here, but then they go to, like, they make too big of a group.
Yes.
Because there's, 8 of them or something?
Yes, and also it turns out that every single person in this group is connected to Flight 180. So it's like, somebody should have been in a pub where like the wing of the plane hit or something, like, and it's all very that, like, one of them missed their flight that day and it was Flight 180, somebody's cousin did this and blah blah blah, and like all of the accidents from the first movie, everyone in the second movie was like connected to.
Yeah, I do like, I love a callback in a movie.
Oh, 100%.
These movies are just callback after callback. But I didn't mind that they're kind of just trying to like flesh out like the mythos of this,
yes,
like, this franchise.
Yes,
but it's just the people in it. Oh my god, it's just so painful to watch sometimes with them.
Totally. This one as well, again, obviously because as the second one in the franchise, they are obviously directly linking it. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously as the rest of it goes on, it doesn't really mean as much. But this one, they do kind of decide, okay, because everyone survived 180, that's done the, like, created the rip in time for death to go back and fix, which again goes in, like, with the rest of them kind of thing. I did think it was cool the way they tried to link everyone back, but you know, the way I was like, shut up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we didn't really need it.
No. And I think this one as well introduces the idea of like, if you die, you break the whole thing. So like, our main gal, she like drowns but is like saved immediately, but she keeps getting visions of the doctor who saves her and think the doctor's like killing her. Do you know what I mean? But this also introduces there's a passenger who survived who was pregnant, and they're like, well, she's going to be fine because she's just brought life in, kind of thing. So it tries to introduce all these other new things, but I'm in the same cards as you, Ross. I don't think this one's great. Now, is it the weakest? No, but it's at the bottom of the list.
Oh yeah, it's not the worst one. It's just because every time I think of the Final Destination movies, which is quite a lot, to be honest with you, I don't know why, they just stick with me. But I always think, the second one's good. But every time I watch it, I'm like, oh no, this isn't.
Yeah,
like, this isn't great.
I think it's once you get past the pile up, you're like the whole pile up scene, you're like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it moves on, you're like, oh, this is kind of shit.
Yeah, and also in this, it's as if they expected people not to see the first one because they over-explain everything in this.
Absolutely. They really do that whole, like, you are watching Final Destination. Like, every time the characters are talking to each other, it's like, Death did this. Death always got me this one time. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's just like, they'll just try to hold your hand through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that deep.
Nah. Like, just go mate and go mate.
Yeah. Yeah, another thing I want to bring up is I was reading something online about how the product placement in this film was just like outrageous.
See, you're talking to the wrong gal. I never noticed product placement. See, unless it's like Transformers level of product placement where like Optimus Prime goes through a Victoria's Secret ad, I never noticed this shit.
Well, you did because you brought it up as well. It was at, well, look at him with his Mac computer. Like when he wins was it $250,000 he wins?
Oh yeah.
But I didn't notice it at the time. I was only doing like stuff after like we watched it, and I was like, they all like have something that somebody's asked to put in. I was like, God, they were even doing that back in the day.
That's so mad.
Yeah, apparently this movie's absolutely just rotten with it. Like product placement absolutely everywhere.
I kind of want to go back and watch it now, just to like you could make that like the other like game of it, of like trying to pick every product.
Yeah.
So what's your best death for this film?
It isn't a death, but it's also the most memorable bit. It's got to be the log scene. Like,
yeah.
I know they don't all die because it's just her vision, but it's the coolest bit in the movie.
You've kind of copped out of this one, Ross, but I'll allow it because you are fucking correct.
It's the most memorable bit in all Final Destinations.
I mean, they've got trucks with like a canvas, so it looks like a log truck to advertise Final Destination Bloodlines. Like, I know, like I don't know anybody who drives our age that isn't like, fuck, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's their pure worst nightmare.
I mean, you're saying it's a cop out, but they're still using it for something that technically didn't happen. So yeah. I'm using it.
No,
that's
fair.
What about yourself?
My best death is the Finding Nemo inspired one in the dentist's office. Like, every time I watch it, I'm like, this is Finding Nemo, guys. Like, so like he sits in the chair, and then Death turns off the oxygen or the and then also like the dentist has like a fish mobile above the seat. One of the fish falls into his mouth. A pigeon breaks into the office. Also, this wee guy is like 16 chasing pigeons. You fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean?
The fuck's that all about?
So like, as the dentist, he doesn't die in the dentist, but the dentist scene, every time I watch it, I'm like, this is just Finding Nemo. What the fuck are you talking about? He actually dies by chasing pigeons, and then the pigeons fly into the construction site and they drop a massive pane of glass on him, and he basically becomes mashed potato very fucking quickly. Do you know what I mean? What's your worst death?
Mine's is the fire escape fall.
Mine too. Like, I feel that death is just so fucking annoying because he's so careless, and it's like, if you're that careless, of course death's going to come for you. Do you know what I mean? He's like flinging metal shit or plastic shit in the microwave. I can't remember what one.
It was the fridge magnet with the Chinese.
Yeah. Don't annoy me.
That, and what was he frying off again? Mozzarella sticks or
something? Or like fish fingers or something. Yeah. Aye.
With a Chinese? You're a fucking maniac. You deserve to die.
His is just pure annoying because, like, everything he does, you're like, oh, you fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you want him to die because he just screams douchebag.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, we'll go on to the third one. So, Final Destination 3, the one with the roller coaster. This is definitely the one I've seen the most times. I actually think this was the first ever Final Destination I watched and then went back and watched the first two.
Yeah.
So in this one, they're on a class trip to a theme park and she has the vision of her whole class dying on a roller coaster. Basically, and then the usual Final Destination patter continues. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
The deaths in this movie are fucking nuts. And I know we're talking about a franchise where everybody dies. This one specifically, I feel this is where it gets booted up another notch. Like, this is where the deaths are so, like, cartoonish.
Yeah. Oh, aye. Like this, and the gore just gets ramped up for here on in.
Gore is horrific, but when this came out round about like 2005, 2006 time. So this was when like Saw was at its peak, and you had like Hostel and you had all this kind of thing. So it was like the gore. Every horror movie was just gory for the sake of being gory. Do you know what I mean? So the death song for this movie is "Turn Around, Look at Me" by the Vogues. Also, shout out to Roller Coaster of Love. I know that's not the official death song of this movie, but that whole fucking scene scarred me as a person.
This is probably the second best one in my opinion.
I agree.
I mean, this one is it's probably got one of the best cast in it.
Yep. Yeah, like actual like people who can act. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who went on to do the best things after these movies.
This was her breakout role. And shout out to Chad and the other gal, the other college kid from 2 weeks ago's episode, Tucker and Dale. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, boy. So this one sort of leans into like fate and like the premonitions and that. Because they can deal with it through, like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character can like sort of see what's going to happen through photos. So it expands into like the lore a bit, like a lot more in this one.
Totally. She doesn't really have the visions. She basically take everybody's photos while they're on the class trip, and then they have to figure out through the photos how everybody's going to die, kind of thing. Which is actually really interesting. Like, there's like photos that are like slightly overexposed, and those are the ones who die in the sunbeds. And I just need 5 minutes to talk about this sunbed scene, right? When I tell you, now we all know sunbeds are bad for us, right? Like, cancerous, horrific, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. If you've seen Final Destination 3, that is why you are not going for a fucking sunbed.
Yeah.
Like, anytime people bring up sunbeds, I'm like, no. I remember, I never went to see this in the cinema because I was too young. Somebody bought me the DVD. I can't remember who bought me the DVD, and that's why I watched it. But I remember, like, watching the film, watching the sunbed bit, and then my mum being like, oh, walk me down to the sunbeds. And I was like, no, please don't do it. Like, pure freak out, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the deaths in this one are definitely, like, some of them are gory as shit, but they're better.
100%.
Like, you feel like they've actually put a bit more effort into these deaths rather than what they did in the second one.
Absolutely.
Like, the first one, I feel there was a lot of thought went into it. The second one, they just kind of went for, let's try and kill as many people as we can. That's what people like.
Yeah.
Whereas this one feels a bit more fleshed out.
Yes, totally agree. The deaths are also, when I say ramped up, like, you've got the one where the guy's in the gym and everyone is like so over testosterone. It's ridiculous. Like, they're all using the gym equipment, being like rah, rah, every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like the swords. There's water dripping, which then causes a stereo to fall, which then causes the bear mascot to fall. And the plastic swords at the top cut the strings of his machine. So then he goes like, oh, fuck death, boof. Brings the thing down and just mushes his head in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all very that. And even like when it's like the goth couple and he skips death and then 30 seconds later all this stuff falls off the shelf in like the DIY shop, like the American equivalent of B&Q, and she gets like nail guns to the face. Like, horrendous.
Yeah, the deaths in this one are they're some of my favourites.
Yeah, totally. And this is one as well. I understand, like, every Final Destination movie, at the end, there is some, like, big scene to show you that they didn't get away from death. But it's always like something's fallen and then it cuts to black, so you know they're not surviving kind of thing. This one was, like, the first one to do the really drawn out ending. So, like, the end of it, it's her and her sister and her pal who survive, and it's them on the subway in New York. And then it's like they all end up on the same subway, and she's like, why the fuck are we all here? And it's this massive subway crash, but that's like her second vision, and she's like freaking out, but they can't get out because all these like football fans are coming in. It's fucking nuts. The last 10 minutes of this movie is crazy.
Yeah.
As much as Mary Elizabeth Winstead is, she's obviously went on to do bigger and better things, also married Scottish icon Ewan McGregor, in shady circumstances, but we won't talk about that. She is a fucking tough hang in this movie. Like, I don't know what kind of cool girl thing she was trying to do with her voice, but it's so put on. It's so forced. Everything about her is just pure, like, desperation station. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But get it out the way in this movie, and then she's went on to do better. Like, fucking straight after this, it was Scott Pilgrim. Do you know what I mean? She really was the it girl of the early 2000s, you know?
Oh, yeah, she's by far had the best career from Final Destination, I would say.
Yeah, totally.
I can't think of, I mean, other than the next movie, Big Bubba Gump. Other than that, no.
That's true. I just remembered there as well, sorry, I know I'm jumping back like 10 minutes. When I was talking about the end of this movie on the subway, the train is called 180.
180, yeah.
So, like, you're just like, oh, love a callback, guys, love a callback. So, what's your best death?
I mean, it's got to be the tanning bed, isn't it?
Oh my God, that's my best one as well. Like, honestly, that, I don't know if, I don't know if this holds up because it is good or if it holds up because of how fucked up it was at the time.
Yeah.
But that is the worst one. Like, for me, and like the way that Final Destination has scarred me off of like daily things.
Yeah.
Log Truck 1, Sunbed 2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was stuck between this or the nail gun one in the DIY store.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the best one in the sense of, all right, this thing's knocked that over, but it's slowly doing it, but you're just waiting for the big moment to happen. And and the way they turn it, that they expect it to be him, but it turns out it's actually her that's getting fucking massacred.
Totally. That's the thing as well. Like, obviously, when they're going through all of the photos to figure out who's dying, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's just wearing a t-shirt that says McKinley, and the goth guy whose girlfriend's died is called Ian McKinley.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, he's named after the high school. She's wearing the high school shirt, but he's going to be the one that fucking kills her. It's nuts. It's so fucking... I feel like this one is the most satisfying as well, because like even it ends, it starts at a theme park, ends at a carnival, do you know what I mean? And there's like mad rogue horses and all this kind of thing. It's fucking crazy. No, third one for me is in the top 3 best ones. Like, again though, I don't know if I'm just saying that because I've seen it the most and that this was the first one I've seen. Do you know what I mean?
No, this is one of the stronger ones.
I agree.
So what is your worst one?
Got to be the gym one. I was between the gym one or the creepy guy that like the truck starts driving itself and he gets beheaded. I was seeing that one, but the gym scene one is just such a fucking riddy. Like, just all these guys be like, fuck the Brewers. It's so fucking embarrassing. So I'm just like, cool, bye. Like, I just cringe that whole scene.
Yeah. See, I've went for, so a friend Perry who happened to be on the roller coaster that they didn't notice. And as soon as he mentions it, oh, you were on the roller coaster? Boof. Flagpole right through. Kebab, man. Kebab the fucking peach. It's just that I was just putting a kill in for a kill's sake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be a shock or like a twist and it just pure wasn't at all.
Oh no, far from it.
So, I don't even want to talk about this one. So, Final Destination 4, the one that went 3D. And this is kind of where the Final Destination franchise falls off. When they started Do you remember when everything was 3D? When they were trying to shove 3D down everyone's throats so that you would pay an extra £4 for 3D glasses? This one and the fifth one were filmed in 3D, and you can fucking tell. Give me a minute and I'll get into that 3D rant. Actual.
Well, the trend was, wasn't it? It's at 3D, and it was always the something flying at you in the trailer.
100%.
Which, unless you had like fucking £1 million to buy a 3D telly at the time, you're not getting the effect to it.
Remember that was a pure thing. They pure wanted everybody to buy 3D tellies and that.
But like, I've got a list of some of the horrors that came out like round about this time. So you have this.
Mm-hmm.
You have My Bloody Valentine. Remember that?
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah.
Oh, that movie was awful.
Yes, that, and you've got the Jonas Brothers 3D concert experience.
Because do you remember it was round about this time when 4DX came into the cinema? It was like round, I can't remember if it was sort of the fourth one or the fifth one.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, you have to go and see this movie in 4DX. And I've never done 4DX, but everybody that's done it, and people still do it today, obviously, I have never heard anything good about it. I've just heard it moves with the base of the film. And
That's
like,
a lot of shite.
Yeah. But you're paying like double the money to have like a bit of air blown at you, do you know what I mean? But if anybody's had a successful 4DX experience, please let me know. But I've never done it, and I just feel like at this point, I'm who can be arsed, do you know what I mean? This is the one where the wheels literally and figuratively come off on the Final Destination franchise.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, this one to me is the worst one. So basically, before we continue ranting anymore, I'll give you the premise of the film. So this one is set at a racetrack, and the guy has a vision of the race cars just fucking killing everybody. But like, the CGI in this movie is so cartoonish.
Yeah.
It's horrific. And also, Death doesn't have a theme tune in this one, and there's no Tony Todd at all in this movie. Like, at least Tony Todd was in the third one as like the voice of the Devil Ride.
Yeah.
He's not in this movie at all. So like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. We got Bubba Gump, and that's about it.
I think this one was just cobbled together to get something out there in 3D.
I agree. Because loads of things were doing stuff like that. Like, just remember there was like Piranha 3D and all that as well.
You had Saw.
Yes.
I mean, ones that kind of made sense, like Avatar and that, they made 3D versions.
Totally.
I can accept that, but that wasn't the whole gimmick of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, if you didn't know that this movie was supposed to be 3D, you can tell the minute you start watching it, because every 10 minutes something is flying at your face on the screen. Like, there's poles going through everybody. There will be like bits of organs flinging themselves at you and stuff. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it just looks shit, and I don't know if they have to do it that way for the 3D crowd.
Yeah.
You think for the people like planning ahead of this movie, how is this going to age in 10-year time, say?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can accept bad CGI because it's just bad CGI, but you can get over that. But to do it just for 3D, like, what if 3D wasn't a success, which it wasn't? Which,
yeah, it isn't. I don't know anybody that goes and sees a movie for the 3D version.
No, I don't know anybody with a 3D TV. So how do you get to experience this? And I wonder if it is better in 3D, like the CGI doesn't look as stupid.
I don't believe that for a second.
I doubt it myself, but I mean, it's just a point. This is the pointless film.
Yeah. And also, see how you said in the second one the people were super unlikable? I feel like this is the one where you just don't give a fuck about any of them.
Yeah,
like,
other than Bubba Gump, don't care.
100%. Like, this really is the worst crowd. Like, you've got a mad white supremacist who dies trying to put a flaming cross on Bubba Gump's garden. Fuck him. You've got the Karen of all Karens who misses her hairdressing appointment, makes them stay late because she's got a night out, and then you're supposed to care that she died in this horrendous way in the hair salon. But also, I would be as raging as that hairdresser, do you know what I mean? Like, I was supposed to finish like 3 hours ago, and you're fucking sitting here. You've got the arsehole pal who cheats on his bird, then bursts the Wayne's Lilo because the Wayne hits him with a water gun. Like, get a grip, my guys. Do you know what I mean? This one, you don't feel bad for anyone who dies. Even our arsehole pal in the cinema, where she's like, I I was supposed to be here to see this movie. Shut up. Actual shut up.
Yeah, like the stereotypes are just ramped up to 1,000,000.
100%.
And it's just embarrassing how bad this movie is.
Totally. Big up Billy Butcher's wife from The Boys for being...
fuck her, yeah.
She's the ginger girlfriend. And kind of survives. Like, but
Yeah.
This is another one as well where there's... This one, I don't remember... You and me were talking about this actually when we put it on. Obviously, the vision, the main point of everyone surviving is because it's set on a racetrack. But I don't remember the racetrack. I remember the cinema bit because basically, like, the mall is under construction. It's him, his bird, and his bird's pal that are the last surviving.
Yeah.
And his bird and his bird's pal go to the cinema in the middle of a mall that's getting done up. And, like, behind the cinema screen, there's, like, sawdust and flammable things and the fire extinguishers aren't working and blah, 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 blah. And all this stuff happens to them blow up the cinema. But then that becomes vision number 2 and he manages to go in and stop it. But then, again, at the end of the film, they're like, oh, you were in the right place at the right time. And then he's like, no, wait, the 3 of us are here in this cafe. And like a truck like drives through the window. And like, I will, though, big up to the final credits because the credits of this movie are really fucking cool. Like, the end ones basically shows you in, like, x-ray vision the truck coming in and how they all died on the truck.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's the one likeable bit about this movie. It's the
just,
end of it.
It's just such a cop-out, though, is it? Oh, wait, this is how it was meant to go down? Is it? Oh, do fuck off, man.
100%.
It's such a lazy way to be like, oh, by the way, death's still coming for you. Like, no.
100%. I also, just thinking about one of the good bits about this movie, which is little, right, is this movie really plays into children's fear of car washes. And I don't know if this is a universal thing, right?
I don't think it is, hun.
Right, oh, fuck, right, okay. Because my wee cousin told me when I was younger that car washes eat you. And I used to be so freaked out anytime my mum wants to go for a car wash. So when there is a scene where she gets stuck in a car wash and her car starts to flood. And like that just preyed upon my childhood fear, man. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, I'm convinced, no, shut up. I'm convinced this is a fucking universal thing. People are freaked out by car washes as kids. Please let me know in the comments if you are or if I'm talking shit.
Do you know what? Cool.
So what's your best death?
I mean, it's probably the disembowelment at the swimming pool.
Oh.
It's the only death I'm like, oh, that, like, fuck that.
Yeah. That death is actually based off of a Chuck Palahniuk book.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the book. Same writer as Fight Club. Call back to the episode of Fight Club that we did. But there's a Chuck Palahniuk book where, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, where something like that happens. It happens to like his pal in it. And there's like a whole 5 pages describing how his pal gets his intestines ripped out of him and stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like, I got to that part in the book and was like, do you know what? I'm good. And I put it down. I may come back to it. Into it. So that's a wee bit of useless information for you. I know we're not doing useless information in this episode, but I'm sprinkling a wee bit here and there. My best death is just the Nazi because he's a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, fuck Nazis.
Like, I can't believe that's a thing that we have to say in 2025. Do you know what I mean? My worst death is the car wash one, purely because it preyed on my childhood fears. Do you know what I mean?
Mine's just the fake out. Like, you have a vision at the end of the movie when you just see, like, Bubba Gump get knocked over. Then it does, oh, by the way, this didn't happen. This is just another vision. Is it? Oh, fuck off.
You've just added 10 minutes onto this already shit movie. Yeah. Although, we didn't mind the fake out in 3 because the train station thing was so cool. But I think because this movie's so bad, you're just like, shut the fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
That was to, like, tie off the movie, though. This didn't happen mid-movie for him to save the day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I can accept it if it's like, because, as you said, in the third one, is it, like, by the time she comes back to her senses, if you will?
Yeah. Like,
it's too late then. But they're giving this guy time, but it's such a cheap death in the sense that, oh, he's getting run over again. Is it? how many times do we need people run over just to kill them?
Yeah, totally,
Like,
totally.
you're meant to be that, like, Babe will do the most creative, most absurd deaths. He gets stuck doing with an ambulance, like, fuck off.
Aye, 100%. Right, we'll move on to the fifth one. Have you got anything else to say about the fourth one?
Both ones fucking shite. Like, it is, I'm sorry, it is. I'll fight anybody that says
No,
different.
I'll absolutely give you that. I'll absolutely give you that. So, Final Destination 5, the one with the bridge, this was released in 2011 and it was touted as the final destination. And another one that was flung out in 3D. Do you know what I mean?
I'll give it, though, for this one, the effects isn't as bad.
It's not as in your face.
Yeah.
Like, this one, when you're watching it in normal telly, it's not so obvious that it was a 3D one.
Yeah, it's like this one's kind of forgivable that way, but they did also have 2 years to improve on it. So
Yeah, 100%. So the vision in this one is that they're all on like an office business trip, and it all goes horribly wrong as a bridge collapses, and everybody, like, the vision. I would put this vision up there with the vision from Final Destination 2. And like the most gnarly, like,
oh yeah, 100%.
The deaths in this are fucking like, do you know what I mean? This is also a movie where they went back to, I think they clocked the blip in 4 where they stopped using practical effects to do the deaths, and you can tell that they went back in 5, and actually there's a guy who dies while getting acupuncture, and basically they made like a plastic bodysuit so that the needles could go all the way in and the blood could come out. And like, when you watch the stuff of the behind the scenes of this Final Destination, you can tell they really went back to like, how realistic can we make all this stuff? Yeah. The death song in this is called Dust in the Wind, funnily enough.
Oh dear, aye.
And Tony Todd makes his grand return in this one as well, back to being the coroner or mortician or whatever it is you want to call him.
So this one is, they kind of go like a black comedy route as well, which is a bit weird, but it works.
Yeah, totally.
Like, this one isn't taken anywhere like near as serious as the rest of them, which is a good change from them. I think so anyway.
I agree. I do also think, though, this one suffers. I think I'm trying to think of like what else was going on at the time that this movie came out, and I think we were like 6 or 7 Saw movies deep, if you get what I mean.
Oh, they were churning them out every other year.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I don't mean to try and keep relating Final Destination back to Saw, but when the parallels are there, the parallels are there. And I do feel that this movie suffered from, do you know how in Saw where you don't feel sorry for any of these people because they're all dickheads, and like the point of Saw is that they need to be taught a lesson, whether take from that what you will. And I kind of felt like this movie suffered from that. Like, the guy who's like the pure sex offender, like he's going through all his dead colleagues' drawers, stealing all their stuff. He's the one that dies of acupuncture during the massage. Yeah. There's the guy who keeps fighting with the union rep and stuff because he's like cutting all their hours. And then the union rep dies, and then you've got the boss who's an arsehole as well. Like, and again, I don't know if I'm just drawing parallels because this one's a business trip, and I can't even remember what Saw it is, where it's like the insurance company. No, the one where like they deny him the insurance. And
yeah.
He's like, oh, cut off a bit of your arm and all that kind of thing. So I don't know if I'm drawing the parallels because of that, but it does kind of feel like everyone in this movie is an arsehole and dies because they're an arsehole. Do you know what I mean?
Like, for the last few of them, everybody's so unlikable.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that must have been a choice by the writing team and all that, but I don't understand why you don't want anybody in the movie you can root for.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so like in this one, the main guy, he works in the business. Do you know what? I couldn't even tell you what fucking business it is, but his dream is to like be a chef, and he gets this like apprenticeship in Paris where he's supposed to go, and like I understand that you're supposed to be written for this guy because this guy's got a dream, man. Like, he works as a chef part-time, he's doing his thing, but his pal's a total dick as well. Do you know what I mean?
fuck,
And basically, like, everyone else in the office is just so too much. You get what I mean? Like, you've got, like, the quote-unquote office siren, who, I'm sorry, if anybody wore that into work, instant HR, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But it's all, we're back to, like, the super stereotypes in this film, do you know what I mean? But I also think this movie is an attempt to return to the standard of the first one. And what I mean by that is that, like, we're back onto the police investigations. People don't really believe Sam. Tony Todd makes his return back into the monologue, but this is the one where he says, if you kill someone, you take the time they had left. Because
it's such a fucking weird.
It's so mad. So, like, so you've got the guy who, when he's arguing with the union rep slips and gets, like, hooked through the head, and your man thinks he's fine because someone's sacrificed in his place. But then you find out by the end of the movie that the union rep had, like, a brain clot or something.
Yeah,
like,
he's ready to go in a minute, basically.
Yeah, basically. So, like, the guy's fucked either way, but this is what introduces that and gets his pure dickhead pal. Like, this goes from Final Destination to, like, serial killer movie pretty fucking quickly. Like, his pal's trying to wipe half of them out.
Yeah, again, though, it's Tony Todd just telling other people separate bits of information.
Yeah.
Is it, why? Like, why is he just telling him that? Tells the other one, oh, it's birth, or is it, he's just fucking making it up?
Aye, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, like, this kind of suffers from the same as, like, a lot of franchise have this issue, though. It's not just a Final Destination thing, where it's that they repeat the same formula every time, but it gets weaker. I mean, these are still good movies to watch because everyone has, like, your spectacles in it. Everyone has a decent, like, something you can watch, like, oh, no, that bit's cool. But by this time, you're just kind of like, right, I've seen this all now, just, like, what? You need to give me something new here.
I totally agree with you. Like, I think that if you were to look at a Final Destination movie objectively, they're probably not, like, they're not considered good movies because there's not really a plot or anything. But like you say, there is something in every movie that's memorable.
Yeah.
And I think this movie, the something new that they tried here was that the twist of this movie is that it's actually a surprise prequel. So, like, Sam gets his apprenticeship to go to Paris, and it turns out he's on the same flight. He's on flight 180, basically. So, like, him and his bird are getting on the plane as you see Alex and all that from the first movie getting into their kerfuffle and getting dragged off, and they're like, how bizarre. Like, that bit was really cool. But that's the coolest bit in an all-over weak film, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's the only bit. Oh, right, that makes sense. And it was cool that they got actors back from the first one.
Yes.
Because you're going back, 11 years?
Aye.
So it's pretty cool, like, just a wee nod back to, remember the first one, the actual good one?
Totally.
Is it? Nah, fair enough, I'll give you that.
Totally.
So what is your best kill in this one?
I've got the gymnast scene.
Oh, I mean, obviously.
Horrendous. It's so horrendous. It's
like, imagine eating shit that way, like that. Like, you would want, like, as bad as it sounds, you want that to kill you, because if you survived that, oh, holy God.
That's the thing, though. This is, as much as we're saying this is the weaker one, like, the build-ups to the deaths are just, do you know them way, like, the thing that Final Destination does so well is, like, there's tension, there's ramped up tension, then there's the tension where you can't take much more, then they add a little bit more tension onto it, and it's like, in the gymnast scene, there's about 6 different things going on. There's the screw that's fell onto the balance beam, there's, like, the rickety bars, the fan that's all over the shop, there's people, like, water's getting spilled and all this, like, there's so many ways she could have died, and she basically takes the flip off the bar and pretzels herself.
Yeah, like,
horrendous.
This is the one, though, is it? I don't think this one's Death's fault.
No, this
like,
one's
she's
just
done this to herself.
Yeah, this one's a health and safety hazard. Do you know what I mean?
It's not even a health and safety. I would say it's her failure to do the jump.
But there's sand and all this in the way.
No, but like,
and the bars are pure loose as fuck. Like, surely that's the gym's fault.
See, when you watch that, like, people do it at the Olympics, that, like, they use, like, the powder and that. but I think she's just failed to make the jump.
That's a fucking hot take, Ross. That is a straight up fucking hot take. Like, so she died because she's a shite gymnast.
No,
amazing,
it's obviously
incredible.
a horrific accident,
No,
but it's her fault.
incredible.
Like she's pretzeled herself here. It's not death. Death didn't make her fail the fucking flip.
I was going to say health and safety because the gym is clearly not keeping up the standards of their equipment, considering the bars are wobbly as fuck. There's screws falling from
The
everywhere.
bars need to be wobbly.
Yeah, but no that wobbly, Ross.
Well, we watched it at the Olympics. They hangs bend like fuck.
Fucking Simone Biles back at it again. No, that is the hottest take of a Final Destination movie I've ever heard, is that she died because she was just a shite gymnast.
I didn't say she was shite.
Incredible.
Like,
that is so good.
Even the best gymnasts make mistakes. It's just that she so happened to fucking put her back out about a million different places. Don't hate me for telling the truth.
Listen, I'm in. I'm fucking in, Ross. I'm picking up what you're putting down. What's your worst death?
My worst one, it's got to be the boss getting hit with the wrench.
Yeah, that is shite. That is shite.
It's such a non-entity kill. Like,
yeah.
It's just a kill for a kill's sake.
Aye. I had, and again, I didn't know if this counted, but if you included the log scene, I'm including this. See where his girlfriend gets impaled on the fence during the vision? It just looked really, really bad. So I had that one, but I was also going to include the laser eye surgery bit because anybody that knows me knows I'm terrified of anything to do with eyes. So that I've never seen that scene because I cover my eyes the whole time. I've heard this scene about a million times. I've never actually watched it because fuck that. So it's the worst death for me personally, but I think if you probably watched it and enjoyed it, it's probably a pretty cool death.
Yeah. I mean, it's deaths go. It's not the worst one, but I get why that show was.
Oh, that's my nightmare.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're now jumping into Final Destination Bloodlines. We went to see this last week. We basically spent 2 weeks watching all of the Final Destination movies. So we were fucking prepped and ready to go.
Yeah, buzzing.
And we're honestly. And it was, do you know what was nice as well when we went to see it is when you go to the cinema and there's always a couple of arseholes on their phone or talking the whole way through, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if we just got a really good screening, but everyone who was there was on the hype. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people were laughing, people were shocked. It was a really good vibe to go to the cinema, and do you know what I mean? One of the better ones
nice
I've been
change.
to. Totally. So, without major spoilers, I might throw in a wee minor spoiler here or there, but without major spoilers, I thought the movie was really fucking good. I thought it was paced really well. It does not fuck about in the same vein that 2 doesn't fuck about. The deaths were grim as fuck, and I also really liked the fun twist on it.
They really ramped up the idea of Death doing his work here.
Yeah.
In this one, which is considering this is the first one in 14 years.
Well, that's the thing. The last one came out in 2011, so we were kind of worried about it when we went to go see it because we were like, "Oh, is this just going to be a shit cash grab?"
Yeah, I mean they done. I really enjoyed this as well. They done everything well. Tony Todd got his final moment of although he is Candyman and that, he's known for these, so he got his final send off and good on him for getting it, I suppose.
Totally.
But I know I really enjoyed it. They done enough. They kept a lot of the same things, but they also changed enough to keep it interesting and fresh.
Yeah, I was also worried that all the best deaths were going to be in the trailers, but there was enough good ones to go around, you know what I mean?
Is it the characters in that in this were really good as well? There was no over the top psycho stereotypes.
No, not at all. I'm honestly going to say I think there was a lot of characters for not a lot of character development, and what I mean by that is they just fucking carried on in this film. Do you know what I mean?
Whenever happens, they get on board very quickly. They're doing all of them.
Yeah.
But there's no characters in this one you just really hate.
No.
They all seem very, very normal, which is bizarre. For these types of movies.
Mm-hmm. And I think, and take this with a pinch of salt, it's intended, I think the deaths came back round to realism, and I say that again in italics, it's mostly household or workplace deaths that you're like, fair enough. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if this sequence of events happened, that's exactly how it would go, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of deaths in this where you've probably seen yourself, there's been warnings on not to do,
Yes.
and because of that, and they just use it, and they say there's no big grand fucking like massacre that murders everybody. It's just a case of like these little like domestic ones and that. You're like, oh no, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Like that's so annoying, but it's pretty cool.
100%, 100%. I think this movie was a great comeback for the franchise. If the franchise is going to continue and it stays in this vein, I can live with that. I can live with that.
I don't want them to make any more. Just like I think Final Destinations had its run. Like this, as I say, this was a nice like ending to it.
Yep.
Like an ending to like Tony Todd.
Yep.
Like everything about it is it.
A nice twist on what we're familiar with, but still keeping in with what we know.
Yeah. Like
You try to talk about this without spoiling it.
Yeah, like, I don't want them to do anything like to expand on this just to make it stupid.
Yeah, I totally
like,
agree.
It was fine the way it is. As a Final Destination, it's one of the better ones. So
I agree.
Like go out on a high. It'll make its money. So just leave it alone for now. And I would say.
I agree. So while we've been talking about all these movies, we've been like, oh, this would be here on my list. This would be there on my list. What would be your overall ranking of like how to watch the Final Destination movies? Or like, no, wait, let me say that again. So obviously in every part, we've kind of been like, oh, this would be higher on my list, this would be lower on my list. So where would you rank each Final Destination movie from 1 to 6?
So number 1 would be Final Destination 1.
Obviously.
Number 2 would be Bloodlines.
Aye.
Number 3 would be Final Destination 3.
Funnily enough.
Number 4, maybe Final Destination 2, but I hate putting that as high as it is.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Number 5 would be Final Destination 5, The Final Destination.
Right, okay.
And number 6 would be Final Destination 4.
Do you know what? My list was pretty much the same. I had 2 and 3 swapped, so I had 3 as number 2. I'm not going to lie to you. I had 3 as number 1, 1 is number 2, and Bloodlines is number 3.
All right, okay.
So, but like basically, we're on the same vibe. I was the same as you. I was like, why have I got Final Destination 2 so high? But that log scene does a lot. That log scene saves it.
Not enough for me. Not enough at all.
Well, guys, that's been our Final Destination overview. Before we leave you, we'll hit you with our 0 out of 10 of the week. And this isn't a movie. This is just a really bad review that we want to fucking tell the world about, right? So, poor Ross, and I felt awful, right? So, Ross had bought me tickets for my birthday, which was in December, for this Dracula play that was coming to the Pavilion like a couple of weeks ago, right? Like start of May. We kind of forgot all about it until like the week before we were going, and we were like, oh fuck, we've got tickets for that.
Yeah, I got a notification for it. So, remember May 6th, this is happening.
So we were pure hyped. We were like, oh, it's a birthday present. We'll go out for a nice meal. We'll go for a couple of drinks. We'll go to the theatre. We shall have a cultured evening. And do you know the way, right? Like, you know what it's like? See when you're sitting in the audience and you're taking the piss before something starts? So, like, Ross is sitting beside me being like, oh, I never told you that this is Dracula the musical. Oh, I'm going to get up halfway through and be the fucking Dracula shadow and all this, right? And I'm like, hee ha ha ho ho. Hilarious, Ross, right? And then the fucking play starts and they start singing sea shanties and like saying things in the round, just repeating things over and over again. And I'm looking at Ross like, and you know the way I was trying to look like I wasn't hating it because Ross had bought me this for a birthday present.
Oh, no, you were right to hate this fucking travesty.
Ross turned around to me about 15 minutes in and I could tell immediately for your face. But you know the way, like, see if you weren't hating it, I would have made the effort to sit through everything because you'd bought me it as a present and it was a really... Up until actually seeing the play, we'd had a lovely evening.
Oh, stunning. Bucks Bar. Food Dynamite. Shout out to Bucks Bar.
Listen, hit up. My God, sponsored by fucking Bucks Bar, guys.
I fucking wish.
And like, I'm not joking when I tell you from 20 minutes into this play, people started leaving. Like, the couple in front of us were the first to go. There was 6 people at the end of the row that were leaving. There was people that were sitting in the second row. The fucking actors could see you, and they just got up and left.
I don't blame them. Honestly, like, they did not deserve our money or attention.
Absolutely not.
Like, this was the most low budget amateur like shit you can find.
No,
like,
genuinely. And I went to college to do fucking acting and that, and the college plays that Ross had to sit through that I was in, this made my college plays look Tony Award winning. Do you know what I mean?
Like like one of the guys playing Dracula, playing Van Helsing, playing somebody else. His accent was the other place. You didn't know who he was half the time.
100%.
I'm like, how can you fuck up the story of Dracula?
That was what because we were ranting about this, right? Basically, we made it to the interval, right? We went outside and we were like, what do you want to do? And before Ross had even answered the question, we turned round and it was like a fucking mass exodus for the theatre.
Yeah.
Like, people were leaving in their droves. And part of me was like, I kind of want to go back to see how empty the theatre is, but also I don't want to go back and then they start and then I'm like, fuck this, we're here for another hour. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like, I did enjoy it, but I wouldn't be that rude as to walk out as they're performing. I mean, I did enjoy it, but it's all their job. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I find that quite like disrespectful
Totally.
to people doing it. I mean, I was kind of putting it down at maybe they're having a bad night, but as the night went on, I was like, nah, this is just shite.
Aye, they're just terrible. Like, there was a lassie in there where I was like, I don't think this career's your calling, babe. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she was awful. And then there was a point where they were doing the Voyage of the Demeter part.
Oh, fuck off.
The guy had a bed sheet at the back and was just fucking fluttering in the bed sheet.
This fucker, went in.
And I was like, are you joking? Like, we have spent, well, when I say we, Ross has spent money. Like, we were talking about it and we kind of figured out we've probably watched Dracula the most over different mediums. Do you know
it's
what
the
I mean?
most consumed media we've had. Yeah, 100%.
We've watched every fucking movie that comes out, Dracula themed or not. We've read the book. We've got the audio book. Like, we've seen like the TV shows. Like, we've done it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're huge Dracula fans in this house, right? And it was like, how do you make Dracula boring? But within about 15 minutes, like, and it was the most low budget. They looked like they didn't give a fuck. And
they were not interested.
Not at all. We kind of came to the conclusion that they're one of those theatre troupes that, like, do the big names so that people will come. Do you know what I mean? Because
aye.
You spent money on us going to see that, and it was for a birthday present, and I felt awful that I hated it because I was like, oh, this was going to be so good. I know. And then, like, but then they're coming back and they're doing like Sherlock and all that.
Yeah, they're doing the Sherlock Holmes stuff. As you say, that's what they do though. They'll like put on performances of like famous things already, so it's got the name factor.
Mm.
You know, there was no like big names, there was no memorable names, recognisable names. So they've just got to rely on these like Dracula, Sherlock Holmes. Pretty sure they done Frankenstein at one point.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how they get the sales.
Totally. And, you know, get that bag, but fucking con artists, honestly, like, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this made the plays that we put on in college look high budget and, like, Academy Award winning. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, I would rather watch them than that garbage. I mean, shout out to the guy for when he's jumping off the boat, jumps off a wooden stool.
Yeah. My God.
You just hear...
Yeah.
Stunning. Well done, my man.
But it was so funny because, like, everything you were taking the piss out of before the play even started
fucking happened.
Turned out to be fucking true. And I was like, what in the psychic that's so Raven is going on right now? So, as much as this week's 0 out of 10 is not a film, this is a warning for fucking any theatre production that's putting on Dracula. Do your fucking research first.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember the production company to warn yous not to go.
It was like Blackbird Productions or something.
Something like that. But you know what I mean? But like, genuinely, like, do not waste your money. Just watch Gary Oldman's Dracula. Or better yet, listen to our episode on Gary Oldman's Dracula. It always comes back to plugging ourselves into it. Like.
Another thing I need to add on, though, right?
Oh, God.
See if the Derbyshire Gazette ever say that your play's amazing. The fucking liars, right? The Derbyshire Gazette and a bunch of hacks don't know what they're talking about.
And after this, you will never hear an episode of 10 out of 10 with Watch again, as we are sued by the Derby Gazette.
Oh, the fucking aunties, man.
Thanks for staying a wee 10, 15 minutes extra to listen to our rant about Dracula. But this has been our Final Destination overview. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any thoughts and opinions, as per, leave them over on Instagram, slide in the DMs, give us some ratings on Spotify, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye!
Bye!
Look at that!